kind of off the topic, but if you had, besides each other, what would be one of your dream collabs?
Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that answer.
Oh man, that would
She
be
said
so
that
dope.
quick.
Yeah.
The
No,
Walters.
Slick Rick and Queen Latifah. Those two people.
Yeah. For me, um, you know, ironically, the people that I would love to collaborate with are not here no more. But for the person that I would like to collaborate, that I would love to do an album with, is Madlib. Like one day, I would love that to happen. I love to get that phone call, that text, the messenger bird, however he sends messages these days, because I heard he's like
And
real
iPhone.
elusive and not using phones and all of that. However that message comes to me, I love that to happen. That'd be amazing. To have something produced by him in my catalog.
And who
Bucket
were the
list
ones
type
that
stuff.
passed away? The ones who passed away, who would that have been?
Dilla and Doom, definitely, definitely. I would, I think every artist out right now, modern artists that fall under my art, some way, shape, or form, been touched by those three cats. I think they shaped modern music because of their rise, in the late '90s, the early 2000s. I think that arc kind of is still like the sonic wave that we on right now. It's just evolved. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got like the book Dilla Time. It's out right now. You
Classic.
know, yeah, that timing is still prevalent in the music right now. In the hip hop right now, it's still we
The
still have
swing?
that
You mean like
swing.
the
Yeah,
swing
that
in
swing.
the
Right.
drums?
Yeah, that swing is still here. So it and it's not going anywhere. It's just a part of the repertoire of music. So yeah, those are the cats that I would like to collaborate with.
I would like. I need to read that book. I'm on Iceberg Slim's book right now. I've been. That's a good book.
Which one?
Yeah,
Pimp?
you gotta read. I've
I
read
have
it
it. I have
before,
it.
but this is my second time. This time I'm listening to it though, because I read it, but now I'm doing the audio version, and it's just so much. It's a bit different than you reading it. You know what I mean? Because you hear the emphasis of the narrator. I think it's dope how they have those audio books that I could be driving and just hook it up to Bluetooth, and listen to it in my
Yeah,
car.
I actually we own one of his albums. Tiff got me one of Iceberg Slim albums. That's
Wow.
he actually narrated a lot of his material on albums, books,
Hmm.
everything, and he would go out and do performance pieces of some of the chapters
Right.
and
Yeah.
of the books. I was saying music of the books for a live audience. I think
Right.
what he was doing is incredible in terms of performance art, from being an author to like a poet, and all of that. Like, shouts out. He
Yeah. He had a
Yeah, he really
unique life.
inspired hip hop as well.
Yeah.
Some things, some artists in hip hop really pulled from his narrative of black exploitation, that type of vibe. So yeah, nothing but respect for the literary world in that sense.
Right. Right. I like to
I
read.
didn't.
Period. So
Oh, go ahead. SP.
no, go ahead, Neville.
No, SP wanted to. I wanted to ask something. You want to go, SP?
No, go ahead.
I didn't want to ask this, but now we talked about. Now I want to ask this because it's about passing away. When we talk about somebody pass, I
Oh,
had this question, but I'm going to ask it now because now it's like a segue. I find, and I could be wrong here, but I find that great art comes sometimes, right, from some of the biggest losses. When I think of KRS One, Scott LaRock, think of Nas, Ill Will. These are people we haven't met, but we feel them and we know their name. It lives on. So for you, A1, in the documentary, there's a touching piece in there. It's quick, but it's heartfelt to me when your cousin Kareem passes away. Just like to talk about like mental health and things like that. How do you think that affected you? coming up, like
Well,
murder, PTSD, grief, anger,
well,
depression, things like that?
grief is a huge part of the recipe because the grief is the lesson, and his death definitely affected me. I can live that day over and over again in my mind because it was unexpected, um, and it just was a pile on. You know, his death was a pile on. It was the beginning of the storm for me because the following year I lost another cousin, my cousin Eddie, to a opioid overdose, and then I lost my grandmother later on in the same year. So it was rough. '06, '07 was really, really challenging, a challenging time for my family, for myself. And the only way that I could immortalize them is I put them in the music a lot. You know what I mean? I have conversations, talk about them in the music. You know, my grandmother, I talk about her in my music. My cousin Kareem, Eddie, talk about them in the music. And even other friends that I lost that impacted my life in some way. I try to immortalize them in the music because I know that the music is gonna be here longer than I will. You know what I'm saying? So, I think sometimes we can immortalize figures and people through our art, because our art will last longer than we will. And I always was conscious of that. So that's why I, you know, lean on that to just put out there because I think that death is also something a relatable experience for every human on earth. They have had to face and deal with grief at some point, and I think that it's the inescapable truth that we can all find some peace in when we deal with it and have some resolve about it, and we could talk about it openly. And that's why I choose that lane, and I lean on nostalgia. I lean on those traumatic experiences and grief to help process it. It's my therapy. I don't have a therapist, so I just talk to the audience, and the audience becomes my therapist in some situations, depending on what song it is. And sometimes I become the
And it's
the,
healing.
the counselor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say because music is also therapeutic for the listeners. Because I
Right.
know for me, a lot of music has got me through a lot of hard times. Certain songs that I still listen to that take me back to that, but it's not a hard. It's more of a like I love this song because it got me through that type of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So let me ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years, professionally, personally?
In 5 years,
Yeah.
I would like to see myself have grown. I like to see the company have grown into a more recognizable brand. That's what I would like to see. If this becomes like a household thing, then I
Right.
succeeded in 5 years because that would mean I'm a millionaire. That would mean that this is taken care of. My
Mhm.
kids is taken care of, my friends and family, and I can empower the people around me with more revenue, more access, and space to be creative and do what they do. So I want to see this as a household name in 5 years because then if we have achieved that and more kids know it, then our legacy is living. And it's just a matter of just when you establish a garden, all you have to do is maintain it. You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if we can establish our garden and it'll grow and give us a bountiful harvest every season. So that's why I say in 5 years, if this is out there, then I'm good. I achieve all goals. I check all of the boxes. So I hope that more people know what this logo is. More people are aware of our journey and our legacy and our music. Because I think that sometimes we get out there and we just hear artists. We don't even see them anymore because
Mhm.
we're so plugged in to the headset. We're not really watching them on video shows. It's not a lot of interviews. So you hear people more than you see them today, even in such a visual world, especially underground hip hop.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
yeah, so I think that making something visible that's tangible, and having this travel over thousands of miles away in both directions is a beautiful thing. But just to
Mhm.
to double, triple, to exponentially grow, to have more people understand and follow this, then we won, and I'm good with that.
Would
I'm content.
Mhm.
would you say that that sort of thing is something you would put in a definition of success, like being having that brand so recognizable, or how would you define success to people?
Um, I feel like I'm already successful because I get to do what I love for a living. My life is just pure passion. Like, I enjoy living. I wake up every day. I'm happy. I don't. It's a blessing not to have the same stresses that everybody else is going through. That's a huge blessing. So I'm already successful in that right. I would like to be more successful, and having this have more recognition means that my children would benefit directly off of my success. So then they would be successful, and it would be with less work than I had to do to maintain it.
Right.
All they have to do is go, if it's a garden, all they got to do is make sure the fruit ain't rotten, pick it, cut the bushes back, just maintain it. That's all they have to do is maintain it, and it will provide for them and their children. You know
Right.
what I
That
mean?
foundation, having
Right, right.
a strong foundation there.
Exactly, exactly. The foundation is the hardest work, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether you laying the foundation, putting it down with wood planks and digging deep in the ground, or if you're a brick mason and laying the foundation down as concrete, that's the hardest work. Those guys do all of the heavy lifting. That's why they get paid the most.
So this question is kind of for both of you. Um, what do you want your legacy to be? Not not only as a musician, but just as a person.
I know for me, I just, I want to live on as a person that was, you know, willing to treat people well. Always, and not always, because we can't always have a smile and it is not all rainbows, but I want to live a legacy of being Tiffany, for one, an individual. So the legacy for me is not necessarily, I mean, of course I want my children to eat and do better than I've done, but I also want them to know me forever and know the most intimate parts of me. And I think that, making music and creating gives people the most intimate parts of yourself. Like, I'm not the person to come and tell you a deep story, but I'll write about it and you'll hear about it. And my kids knowing me and the people that come after me, my nieces, my nephews, being able to listen to that and know who I was. We all want to make our mark, right? And before I leave here, I will also want the legacy to be me being able to give something back. That's the huge part for me. I always told A from like the time we dated when we were younger, much younger. I'm not gonna tell my business, but from the time that we dated when I was much younger, um, I told him that me being successful financially is for what I can do for other people. Cause right, I'm happy, and I mean, as long as I got clothing, shelter, food, I'm good. But I want to leave a legacy so that people are well taken care of. People knew who I was, and I want to leave a legacy of being a good person. Nobody wants, people are like, oh, when I go, I don't want you to be sad. I want you to be a little sad, you know, because if I leave here and you're not sad at all, I did something horribly wrong. You know what I mean? So I just want to leave the fact that, I want to leave a legacy of dang, I miss Tiff at the very least. And for good reason.
I,
Yeah.
I I told my kids I want them to have a party, celebrate my life. You guys can cry later,
Yeah.
but celebrate my
Yeah.
life. Don't do no sad funeral thing.
Yeah, no. I totally feel the same way. But I need
Mhm.
I need them to be sad for a little bit though.
Right,
Like,
right.
you
Me
gotta
too.
miss me.
Yeah, that's why I said be
Don't just be
sad.
like, oh, mama gone. It's all right. No.
Yeah, yeah. No, be sad a little later. You guys can,
Yeah,
but just celebrate my life when it first happens, and then go be sad.
exactly.
Yeah, I feel
Exactly.
you.
And
Oh,
what about you, A1?
For me, I like my legacy to be one that is highlighted by hard work, um, patience, and being passionate. I think that those things define, the independent sensibilities to a core. Um, what it takes to take the chance that we took to do things our way and to be stubborn enough to stay on course and stay authentic. So, if people walk away from the music and see our art out there and what we created and say, "Oh, this is so honest. This is a great portrayal." Like I learned something from this. I could tell how things were around the time when he lived, and I think that I did my job. If something that I said on the record still resonates with someone 20, 30 years later, then I've done my job. I just want to be relatable for people so that people can always come back to my art as a reference point. Because then if they do that, then I'll be immortal. My spirit will be immortal. I'll always be with, those that descend from me, because they'll always have that reference point, like, well, my ancestor A1 did this, he said this is, he made this impact, he did this. I've It's already a hell of a story for our grandchildren and our great grandchildren, but I want to make sure that our story lives past even that far, so that our bloodline just won't forget. Everybody that comes from us will know what we did and how much of a chance we took with it.
I
Right.
think it's a, I think it's weird. I think it's hard for people to understand. We're at a certain age, and they haven't grasped hold of that thought that we are the ancestors.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So I think it's dope that you included that in your statement, because yeah, we are the ancestors, and what are we going to leave for them to hold on to? So that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I try to be conscious of the fact that, everybody is mortal. Everybody has, mortality to face. And I think it's more important to leave things behind that people can hold on to, not necessarily tangible material things, because that's not what people remember you for. People remember you for the type of person that you were. So the way that I project onto so many different people and touch many people through my music, I just want to always be projecting the best energy and the best representation of myself out there so that I don't embarrass, people that descend from me later. Like, oh, he was kind of crazy. Like, I don't want to be associated with that. I want them to be proud of what we're doing now and say that's amazing, and I want our story to be told, many moons from now. You know what I mean? As much as this is rap music, as much as this is hip hop, as much as it's a label and everybody involved with it, it's a love story about people that, stayed together, that, made music together, had a family, and really followed, pursued their dream and stuck with it, and made something out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not every day regular folks can say, "Hey, it's a documentary out. You can go check it out." It's not every day that people find what you're doing that interesting. So I'm blessed for that. We ultimately blessed for that. Just people having enough interest to talk to us, for this long, just to figure out what makes us tick. That's saying something,
Right.
and it's appreciated, and I'm always humbled by that, because it's not about me, it's about what I'm doing and my effect on the people. Because without the people, this ain't happening. You see what I'm saying? Without the
Yeah.
audience, without the people that's holding you up, then this is a hobby. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. So it's always about what you're putting out there for the people, because that's who matters the most.
So I wanted to piggyback off of that because you're talking about the love story, right? And your guys is wanting to leave behind. You guys ever thought about writing a book about your story? Because that would be like, I'm a book reader. I love books. I collect vinyl and tennies. I'm a big Jordan Air, Nike Air, Adidas. I got all that. But I love books too, and I love those type of books. You know what I mean? I think your guys would be very passionate,
Tiff?
interesting, and just real book. Like I would like that. You guys go write a book, okay?
Thank you. We might have to
I
do that.
I write all the time. Like I'm in the process of. It's funny you mentioned that. I'm in the process of writing a book. Um, More so about our son's story, our middle son's story, which I think would be impactful for anyone who reads it. That guy has exceeded many expectations, and he has a heck of a story to be told. So we're writing,
All right,
and
all
maybe
right.
we'll build off that.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna
Dope.
read that one too. Yeah.
You you also mentioned like having lessons are things to teach people in your music. Is there anything like if you could like go back and talk to yourself when you were younger? I mean, is there a lesson that you would give yourself or any advice? Um, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't listen to your peers. I mean, I would just if it was up to me and I could go back to tell myself something, it would be just to tell myself, listen to yourself, listen to your elders, don't listen to your peers because they trying to figure it out. They don't have it figured out. You know what I mean? They just like you, so don't listen to them. They gonna make bad decisions. They making the same mistake you ready to make. But listen to your elders and listen to yourself because I think that our internal, conscious, our moral compass, and our subconscious wakes up, and we already know the right answers for ourselves. But it's that person next to us that's like, nah, I don't do it. That it's just that deductive reasoning making us question ourselves to go and make a bad decision. And that's what I've learned, and that's what I would tell myself. Like, yo, stop sharing music with people. Don't listen to them. You would have been done this 10 years sooner had you not listened to people and trusted yourself. So that's definitely something that I would tell myself because I think that I would have figured it out a lot earlier. And the other thing I would say is, yo, trust your wife. Facts. That make sure you trust her. You gonna
Mic
meet
drop.
her like 24 years old, buddy. Trust her, but she gonna give you the best, the best advice you can ever receive.
And
Like
she's your best friend.
you would,
Amen.
you would avoid a lot of pitfalls. Have you listen?
A
All
one though.
right.
Quick question with that part.
Well,
I think.
let Tiff answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, all right.
What would I tell myself? Um, be confident at all times. Bet on yourself. Nobody loves you more than you. And that pretty much sums that up. I don't have a lot to say about what I would say to my younger self, but I think those three things would cover it all, and it would have saved me from a lot of heartache
Those
and
are
bad
very
decisions.
important. Yeah, those three are very important, and it's sad that we don't realize that till we get older.
Yeah,
That those are important.
Well,
So
and as women, I think that's just something we don't like. It's not instilled in us either.
right.
So I mean, like, and even with now you have a daughter, like that's something also that's your younger self, basically in another body. So I mean, being able to help her get that confidence maybe that she didn't have, and I think that's amazing.
yeah. Like and even when we try to give it to our kids, my mom gave it to me. She told me, you're a beautiful person. I remember asking her one day. I was getting all dressed and getting ready to go somewhere. And I said, Mom, I look, got confidence that day. So I'm like, Mom, I look good, right? She's like, I can only answer that question based upon who you see when you look in the mirror, how many people you've made smile today. And that was so complicated at the time. But as time went on, that made me realize that it came from within. My mom could
Mhm.
tell me I was beautiful every day. People could tell you you're this great person. But until you start believing it and really, and you have that embedded in you from you, it's just a thing. Because society doesn't make women feel too great every day. It's
Yeah.
That's a
just,
fact.
it's like one dimensional, and they have this definition of beauty. They have this definition of brains, and don't sit like this, and don't do that, and don't do this. If you try to keep up with that, you will never win. You
Mhm.
try to study that, and you will never graduate ever. Um, the only thing you can be sure about is you. So loving you is extremely important. And your
Right.
daughter will figure it out, just like we figured it out.
Mhm.
Eventually, we just hope that
Yeah.
they do so sooner.
Yeah. That your mom gave you some very deep. She gave you some gems, some jewels right there, and you're right. Probably took time to understand what she meant by that. Yeah.
A lot of time,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably too much time, but I did get it.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
So
hey, one. It was just before. I just wanted to ask for clarification because I think I was a little confused when you said peers. You meant rap peers, or you mean like friends growing up? Don't listen to them. Like, what did you mean?
Any peers, because again, whether it's rap peers and people that you in the industry with, trying to come up with, or if it's your friends, all those perspectives are going to be with some type of lens on them. You know what I mean? Your friends are going to give you advice through colored lenses, and your peers may look at what you're doing in a more stark, more competitive way, your musical peers, and just not want to give you the props that you deserve because they see you as a competitor, see you as a competition. And your friends are going to look at you through rose colored glasses all of the time and say, hey, everything is dope, so I avoid both. Everybody gets the record when it's done, just like everybody who's going to listen to it, so that there's no one imposing their will on my art in particular. The only people they need to be involved in the decision making process of the album is the people that's making it. Period. So I mean, I just grew out of being so excited about my music that I want everybody to hear it, because what you asking for is a critique. And that critique could derail that creativity and push you in a different direction that you don't
Mhm.
need to go in. You could have already been on the right path, but that person that you bump into to say, nah, this ain't it, man. What's the story behind it? It's not it why. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
their opinion can change. You know what I mean? Oh man, I never heard it like this before. Well, you told me it was garbage like 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? It's the same song. So again, I've heard it all, seen it all in terms of responses and everything, and I just find it to be better just to not involve people in my creative process, except for the people that need to be in the creative process. Everybody hear the album when it come out, just like everybody else.
Yeah. So the name of the show is Powerful Impact. This is for both of you. Who are the three most influential people that provided a powerful impact in your life, either personally or professionally, or both, and why?
My answer, since Tiff took a pause there, the three people that most influenced me in my life are obviously my parents. Those are two people, and then my wife, because I think that those people have been the most important people, from my parents with my start of life to now, my wife, me building a life with her. You know what I'm saying? It's like you getting your second win and you becoming an adult and you thinking independently. And now, you building a household with somebody else, creating your own rules because you're not under your parents' roof, and so forth and so on. So I think that those people have influenced me the most in life, and again with my parents, go deeper there. I worked under my father, for my father before. So, I got a lot of work ethic from him. I got a lot of mannerisms from him. I had my heart and my spirit and some of my judgment, that comes from my mom, and I'm a shrewd businessman, and it comes from my wife. And not that she's, like a shrewd businesswoman behind the scenes, but um, the confidence to know your worth and your value is what she gives me. Know how much you're worth. Make it make sense. Make what they trying to give you make sense to you. So different lessons in different parts of my life. I have to always go to those people that help shape the path and the narrative.
I gotta rock with the same three. I gotta rock with my mom because she was just wise beyond her years and just one of the best friends I could ever ask for in my life. My dad, because he's just a great all around guy. He taught me how to be calm when I need to be. He taught me that great Bible verse about there being a time for everything in life. Um, so he was great in that way. And A1, just because that, I mean, we literally ran into each other when we were basically kids, just a little above kids. Um, so right into adulthood. So I mean, just having that journey and adventure with somebody is gonna make them super impactful. I mean, basically, we grew up together. You think you're grown when you're 16, 17, but when you hit, that 18, 19, 20, you grow together. Um, so yeah, those people were most influential.
Wow, those yeah, that's great. I like those answers. It the way you guys love each other is just inspirational. Really, I love it. I just want to. You guys have anything else you want to ask Morgan SB? So I figure we close out on that because
Hmm. Go for it.
all right. I just want to give everyone a shout out. Thank you, A1. Thank you, Tiff the Gift, for joining Powerful Impact, joining us, Morgan. Thank you for joining us. It was nice having you here. Um, SP, I love you. I thank you all the time, so you already know that. Neville, thanks. And I just want to say, you guys follow us when subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment, let us know who you want us to interview next, and please, please go stream their music. Check out their merch. They got new projects coming out. Just tell your friends,
So,
tell five people so they can tell five people and they can tell five people. Let's support. It's important to support independent artists, and these are two of the best that we got right here. So please support them.
A1 and Tiff, do y'all have anything y'all anybody y'all want to shout out or promote?
Yeah.
Yeah, shouts out to Don't Sleep Records family, Phonics, Tiff, Anti Lily, Deflo, MZ, Peas the Prophet, everybody we working with. Shouts out to Mutiny Merch and Seth over there for helping us put our new line together. We have an Essentials collection available now on don'tsleeprecords.com. Go stream the album Nothing Less. Go check out Underdogs on Red Bull TV, and look out for my new album coming soon, produced by Soul Dope 95. It's going to be called Critical Race Theory, and this
Ooh.
album is an exploration through blackness, and the understanding of what that is like to be black in America or anywhere in the diaspora around the world. So look for that soon. It's gonna be an interesting journey, and just another album for people to dig into and get something from. And thank you all for having us. It's amazing. We appreciated every question, and you guys are so knowledgeable. Really appreciate that so much. So thank you all.
You're welcome. I mean, this has
Wait, Tiff has.
yes,
Yeah.
Tiff.
Tiff, I was waiting for
Oh
Tiff.
no, look, let me tell you something. I shout out to the whole Don't Sleep family, always, Phonics Def, Anti Lily, everybody else rocking with us, my brother Chad. But look, thank you guys. I had like the longest day ever, so you don't know how great this made me feel to be able to talk today and express myself a little bit. These opportunities come few and far between with the type of schedule that I have, you know. But you guys really made me smile today. SV, uh, who is my person in the middle, passive assassin. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. And y'all know I can't see. Tiptoe.
Tiptoe.
Yeah, Maria. You can call me Maria. That's my name, Maria. But I go by
Miss
Tiptoe.
Yeah, Tiptoe and Nev, I really appreciate you guys. You brought my spirits up today. So, you never know how the stars are gonna align, but thank you guys for bringing up my spirits today and showing me some love. And I love y'all right back.
Thank you both so
Thank you.
much. Really, Tiff coming on was a surprise to me. I
Me too.
normally ignore Nev, so I didn't know she was gonna be.
We all, yeah.
And I just lost
Maria,
all
relax.
my cool points.
Now you got, hey, whichever ones you lost, I gave them back to you because you get a whole bunch from me, sis. That's for sure.
I truly appreciate you. I truly appreciate both of you coming on. This was amazing.
Hmm.
Amazing.
You're
Yeah.
welcome back anytime. Anything you want to promote, if you just want to come and talk,
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are doing such a great job too. Please keep it up. We need this, and so many underground artists need that platform. So don't stop, don't get tired. Be diligent and be steadfast, like we talked about earlier. And y'all are great at what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Means
Thank
a
you
lot
so
coming
Don't
much.
from you.
sleep.
Well,
Absolutely. Don't sleep. Appreciate y'all.
Yes.
all right.
Appreciate you.
So
Peace,
we're
love,
out of here.
respect, all that good shit, right?
Right on.
Right.
That's my saying right there. Peace, love, respect, and all that good shit. Let's
I
keep it
love
going.
it.
Love that. Yeah. Let's go.
Come on,
All
And
bitch.
right. This is Powerful
pe-
Impact, and we're out. Peace.
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 peace,
They've
y'all.
gone out and made a powerful impact. We've gone out and made a powerful impact. Now you go out and make a powerful impact in the community. One love. Boom. Rest in power to Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. Much nice. Shout out to Pastor Sassi.